is a recycled paper craft. Just in time for Valentine's Day, we're gonna make paper flowers using some recycled paper. My son was so kind to donate some old homework. For this craft, we need recycled paper, markers, glue, scissors, and something to seal it. I'm using nail polish. I start by taking the paper and folding over one of the margins. Make a crease along the side. Trim off the excess paper. We can use the rest of the paper as a surface to work on. Take a green marker, starting at one end of the paper, go about a ½ inch down, then color on the fold. This is the length I'm going to need to make the stem of my flower. Open it up, color on the inside, on both sides, then fold it over to the other side and color that side as well. Go down a little farther and color a semicircle, a whole circle on the inside, and a semicircle on the other side. Go down a little more and color a rectangle. On one side, a square on the inside. Ooh, marker's running out. And the other side. If I have enough marker left to finish, we will use the rest of the paper to make our petals. So let's trim it. Then on the side with the fold, cut kind of a rounded heart shape. It still comes to a point at the bottom. It just doesn't have much of a peak at the top. Continue going all the way down the paper. I got about 11 petals. I think I want a few more. So let's take the leftover paper, fold it again, then cut out a few petals. We should be able to get a few more out of this. Now we have plenty of petals. Take the green colored paper, right on the fold, cut a long, thin line. Round off the white tip, then set it aside. On the little semicircle, just go ahead and cut it out. Cut out tiny triangles going around the rounded edge, going from one side to the other. Fold it in half. To get a tiny point in the center, cut the point off. Open it up, and you'll see that we have the center cut out. Make a small cut to remove about a quarter from the side. There we go. Then set that piece aside. For our last colored area, very carefully I put a little tiny bit of glue on the crease, and not even the whole crease. I want to leave about that much above it. Use a glue stick to apply the glue, then fold it over. Cut a thin strip off the fold, but then we're going to branch out a little bit like that. Start cutting from the top, and we're going to meet the little branch and finish the other side, making a Y shape. I take my time and cut the two pieces at the top at a nice little angle. I want them pretty thin and pointy. The stem pointing out to the side is easy to separate. Then I'm just going to use my scissors to cut down the longer side that was on the fold. We used a little bit of glue, but we didn't glue all the way up, so there is some space, creating two forked stems. Out of the leftover green, cut a leaf shape through 2 layers. We can use tweezers to help pick things up. Apply glue to the front and back of the leaf. Place it between one of the forked stems, pressing the pointy paper around the leaf, and it's kind of sandwiched it in place. Repeat for the other leaf, giving us a branch with 2 leaves. Set it aside and allow it to dry. Pick up the large stem, gather all of the petals, take a petal and open it up. Apply a little bit of glue to the pointy side. Take the stem, starting at the end that has a little bit of white, and we're going to just wrap that on there. Just wrap it right around it and hold it for a few seconds. Glue. Take another petal and glue it onto, and place it on the other side. Now we just have to keep adding petals. First a little glue, then attach it to the stem. And hold. We are always overlapping the petals as we work our way around. Try to keep that all pretty even. Be careful only to apply glue around the bottom. We want to make sure we can open those petals a little bit when we're all done. This is tedious work, but it's fun and we're recycling. I've got quite a few layers on there now, so I'm just gonna squeeze it a little bit to try to get it to round out. Continue adding petals. After going around several times, that looks about right. Take the little spiky collar that we made, add glue, and wrap it around the bottom. I overlapped just a little. Now I'm just gonna push it onto the paper and allow it to dry. Use the marker to make touch-ups where needed. Carefully begin bending the petals down. We want our flower to look like it's blossomed a little. That looks pretty good. Separate the sides of the stem. Take the leaves, cut the bottom of the stem at an angle, glue it inside of the stem, refold the stem, and allow it to dry. Make more to have a pretty little paper bouquet. We can stop here, but I want to take things a step further. Take another marker. I'm using a light rose pink and just add a little color to the tips of the petals. Use a paintbrush to brush water onto the petals. This will move the ink from the markers, causing it to fade, creating a really soft ombre effect, adding color and detail to our flower. Be very careful not to get any of the water onto the stem, because then that green color will bleed onto your rose petals and it'll become a mess. Once dried, I add a thin layer of nail polish just to hold everything together. Then hang them upside down to dry using binder clips, a wooden dowel, and a couple of chairs. I think they're just about ready. Take a small glass jar. I got this from the craft store. Remove the flowers from the drying rack. Place them in the jar. I made a few stems that had only leaves to add a little more green to make a vase of mini flowers for our dioramas. Now, depending on what nail polish you use, it can make the petals a little translucent, so if you prefer to have a matte finish, use a matte nail polish or just paint the stems. I chose to paint the whole thing just because the nail polish acts as an enamel and will help them to last a little longer. I really like the way they turned out. They're gonna add some really beautiful color to our rooms. We got to recycle, which is always fun. However, this project does take a nice amount of time. I chose to make my flowers pink, but you can use whatever color you want. Let's try to make a rainbow rose. I have several different colors here, a light purple, a pink, red, a kind of orangey yellow, a yellow, teal, and blue. Let's start by adding a little bit of blue to one of the bottom petals. And don't forget, the color will spread once we add the water, so you don't have to add a ton. You can if you want, but you don't have to. And we can take it down the side a little. Let's add a little blue here as well. Move over a little and add the teal, then the yellow. I'm gonna touch the edges of that yellow with a little bit of orange. Then add some red. We're gonna make one whole petal red. Just on the edges. Add some pink. We can go a little heavy in the center. And last, we're gonna add that lavender. So it bridges the space between the red and the blue. Now that it's colored, brush it with the water and all the colors will start to flow together. Allow it to dry to make very colorful roses. Thank you for joining us while we made miniature paper roses. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to ring the bell and follow us on Instagram at MyFroggyStuff and the Frog Vlog. And we will see you next time.